Let's have a quick look at our press this morning, press review, and the Standard newspaper today leading with that conversation that continues today on the wage bill and what Uhuru must do to save the taxpayer, because that is who gets to suffer at the end of it all. And this breaks down the puzzle over the billions of shillings and where they're going. There's a 548.7 million shillings that's going to internal security. But other shocking expenditure details here, 348 million shillings goes to foreign travel, hospitality and seminars, and perhaps meetings like we saw recently of the cabinet at Mount Kenya. 500 billion shillings goes to that. 1.8 billion shillings. Now, this is a complete waste because it goes to workers. And read more about that story that continues on page 4. So apart from breaking Jubilee's promise to create jobs and double-digit economic growth, salary cuts and staff retrenchment raise questions about wastage and graft in government. And the Standard newspaper has today covered for you very comprehensively, detailed as well from yesterday's National Dialogue Conference at the KICC. Read more about that on pages 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. And it's all about wastage in government and how that, going through to page 6, must be tackled to ensure that the general public is cushioned from the millions of shillings that are going down the drain, and some of the work that are being done, some of the measures being taken, perhaps seemingly counterproductive. Page 7, Nairobi Jam blamed on inexperience. We are all aware and have experienced this very chaotic situation sometimes on our roads in the morning and in the evening. Leonard Katana, senior instructor at Kiganjo Police College, says lack of a command center is partly to blame. And this was revealed as the police vetting exercise continues. So, of course, some of those questions being put to the officers. On page 9, read about Sang. He says, I didn't incite due to broadcast ban. And this is the ongoing case at the International Criminal Court. Radio journalist in post-poll violence case is using the December 30th, 2007 ban to prove his innocence. So he argues that it is impossible for him to have incited anybody if, in fact, he could not have been on air at that particular time. Fever pitch in the Standard. That's all your sports action. A back page. Gunners face Bayern test, and Bundesliga champions cast a shadow over English rivals. It will be quite the game. Arsenal and Manchester City face monumental tasks. Indeed, they are when they visit European powerhouses Bayern Munich and Barcelona, looking to overturn 2-0 deficits in the second legs of their Champions League last ties. Those are huge games, a must watch. And other stories inside Fever Pitch. Questions of a Bandari's KPL run as they lose to Tusker, and Wigan stand Man City face Arsenal in FA Cup semis, while Hull meet Sheffield, amongst other stories in the Fever Pitch. Do grab yourself a copy of the Standard, because also inside you have the extra pull-out. Today it focuses on lives that have been destroyed, and when a devastating fire unfortunately left a family with nothing. Pages 2 to 4 has those details. And other stories inside that pull-out is the dramatic picture story. Look at those pictures that tell quite the dramatic story. And car shopping portal. What is the best way to go about car shopping online? And foods to eat for healthier hair. Remember, we're talking about hair yesterday. So there are foods that can help you get healthier nywele. And Nakuru's social media savvy chief, and you've heard about him. He was on Jeff Koinange Live last week, and the Twitter feed there is on him. The business bit pullout is also another inside the Standard newspaper today. The headline, Money, Glory, Power. Team Uhuru 1 year on. So these are the young brains behind the TNA campaign. Today bask in fame and fortune. You have there Marvin Tumbo, Daniel Mugo, and Patrick Ngatia as well. Also inside the beat, telecom sector, what acquisition and exits mean for Kenya's 30.5 million subscribers, amongst other stories. To grab yourself indeed a copy of the Standard newspaper. The Daily Nation, this Tuesday, how Kenya was ruined by love of fat salaries. Yes, very fat ones indeed. As the leader of the executive, we are leading by example, and I expect all the rest to follow suit. Those are the words of President Uhuru Kenyatta. So again, that story covered there for you. Another one on the front page: schools closed and houses burnt as clashes flare up. And that's learning in 10 schools in the Kisumu-Kericho border has been disrupted by ethnic fighting, which has claimed 6 lives. Definitely a situation that needs to be dealt with soon to bring it to an end. And salaries crisis is the story that continues on page 4 and 5 in the Daily Nation. Sang there defending himself, saying that ban could not by any chance have allowed him to incite anybody as well in the Daily Nation today. Page 8, police forced me to confess, says a trader here. And man accused of murdering Isiolo bishop tells court he was coerced to make that particular statement. Back page today in the Daily Nation: Varsity Dons plan to strike tomorrow, so staff threaten to boycott work if management fail to pay salaries and allowances. So whilst on one hand we're talking about salary cuts, on the other we have a group here talking about more money. If not, they go on strike. Let's have a look at the Star newspaper. And MPs ODM reject a pay reduction. So this new move, the move by the president, and of course his calls to others to follow suit, has been criticized by the minority or the opposition. And you have Quad leader Odinga criticizing the plans to have civil servants' salaries reduced in a bid to reduce the public wage bill. Also on the front page, CJ denies meeting Bensouda. The judiciary has denounced reports that Chief Justice Mutunga met the prosecutor a fortnight ago. A statement from Mutunga's office said the CJ only traveled to The Hague for a conference of the Justice Leaders Initiative, which brings together CJs and other parties. On the spotlight, as highlighted in the Star this morning, Auditor General pays 100 million shillings for software not delivered. So Auditor General Edward Ouko is caught up in controversy over 100 million shillings unwanted, quote-unquote, audit software paid for last November but not delivered to date. So the man who has been, rather the office that has seen those audit reports come out that have put quite a number of government officials on the spot, finds himself in that story in the Star on the spot again over money and how it was spent. Graft cartels back in government, that is what Nyang' Nyong'o is saying, the professor. So he dismissed the move by the president as well to have those salary deductions. Wage bill will eat into Vision 2030. Some of the statements that have been made. Page 4, Sinai fire victim faints in court while testifying. You remember that fire, the court process, the trial is ongoing. And of course, as victims recount what happened on that tragic day, perhaps the details too gory for them to be able to go through the testimony. Finally, the people, 20% pay cut shock for public CEOs. On that wage bill conversation, other stories in the People. Somebody come to baby Brian's aid. There's a story you'll find in the People. And hospital appeals to well-wishers to help a baby undergo surgeries. Also, lecturers threaten to strike tomorrow over salary arrears. So those are some of the stories that are in the papers today. Do grab yourself a copy of the Standard newspaper. Business Beats, extra pull out, other international stories as well, all covered for you.